we had all kinds of fires. They weren't all small. Most of them were. Most of them were 2 to 6 to 8 men. The biggest ones we had were on the Salmon River. And they were almost always 32 men to the salmon. To this day, when I hear 32 to the salmon, I get chills, because they were badass fires. They hurt people there pretty good. But there was the other kind, and that was, I was going to tell one of those. On the Gila, there's various districts. Most of our action was on the Wilderness District, but there's a district to the north of there called the Beaverhead. And it's just beautiful meadows, grassy, rolling countryside, pea pines and Doug fir, just beautiful country, big grassy meadows. And this was as typical a Smokejumper fire as the rough ones. We got an early morning call, so we're up right after first light. We're up on the Beaverhead with a 4-man fire request. We get over to fire, and there's just this little bitty old smoke right over the edge of the timber in this big grassy meadow. And just going straight up, no drift at all. The air was thick. So even with those 28-foot parachutes, we just floated down there, you know. And we went running over to the fire to keep it going, because we was afraid it was going to go out, and we wanted to start making some coffee and boiling up some beans and shit. And we did. We hustled over before that sucker went out. And we had radios in that time. So we hustled over there and we made some Cowboy Coffee, and we used our hard hats to cook in. We put all the sea rats and Tabasco sauce and stuff in the hard hat and mix it all up till it was kind of gray, but it tasted better that way. And sat there and munched and smoked cigarettes and stuff about half the day. There was no fire to put out. We had to keep it going. And we had radio, so that afternoon we were just laying there and said, well, I guess it's time to call that chopper and come get us. Didn't have to cut a chopper spot. There was this big old grass meadow, about 4 acres. And they paid us to do that. That was a paid fire jump. So that was on one extreme of the spectrum. And then, of course, there were everything in between, including the bad ones.